We are the Nerd Eternal Network.
Hello, welcome to Powers on Payroll here on the Nerd Eternal Network. I'll be your GM for the day, Jason, and with me as usual will be Marigold as the Boogeyman.
Thank you for joining us.
Curtis as the Influencer.
Hola.
Mike as Whippet.
Hey, everyone.
And Taylor as Skater Boy.
Howdy.
All right, who remembers where we left off last time?
We had wrapped up, who was it? We were cleaning up after that,
The Detroit Defense fight between them and
That's
the
right.
That is correct. You had a public service, or not public service, public appearance at the opening of a new library. You did some hobnobbing and, glad handing and stuff there. There was an explosion a block or two away. The mayor who was there asked you to check it out. When you got there was an unknown, you find out later, hero group facing off against the Mutant Defense Militia. I believe Skater Boy was wanting to figure out what exactly was going on. Y'all saw, let's see, one of the members was basically knocked out as you got there. You saw them take two of the heavier hitters take down Grim Noir. And then as Wraith was trying to get away with Siphon, the Influencer leapt into her and brought her back. So you're getting things sorted with them. Introduce the Detroit Defenders. They are a team run by a nonprofit, or set up as a nonprofit. They wear very similar costumes. Virtually identical, different enough that you can tell the genders of whoever's in there. And the commander wears a cape. Each of them seem to have different powers, full covered masks, very simplistic names. They explained it as they're not trying to be too flashy. They're not trying to go for like personal fame. My mouth keeps peeking. But what was it? Skater Boy communicated telepathically with Wraith after she woke up. But was bound up in the spear. Prisoner carrier, prisoner transport. That's what it was. So you'll find out they had attacked a local Shadow Corp building. They had been led to believe through their investigation that they were keeping mutants there against their will and experimenting on them. But when they showed up in person, where all the information said the secret labs were, it was just the basement of the building. Everything was squeaky clean. You went to investigate their safe house, because Skater Boy had gotten that location. And either while you were leaving there or while you were there, the Spear agent working with you got word that the troop transport, or the prisoner transport, had been attacked. When you went there, the back of it had been peeled open like the foil of a baked potato. The prisoners were gone, and the front of the truck, where the agents would have been sitting, was just squished flat as a pancake. I believe Skater Boy had some glasses in his jorts that would let him look into the past. Boogeyman and the government agent. Did I write down which agent it was? It was one y'all had worked with before.
Not Davies or Oliver.
No. It was either Cryer or Allen. Cryer, I think it was Agent Cryer.
Prior sounds right.
Yes.
So the commander carried Boogeyman up because you could just barely see the person that must have been doing it way up in the air above you, when looking through the glasses. So the commander carried Boogie up for a good look, and Skater Boy once again reached into the jorts and pulled out a helicopter propeller hat that let the agent fly up there.
I'm going to throw this out there now. I know that Toss-Up is a gadgeteer, but Skater Boy is a much more fun gadgeteer than Toss-Up ever was.
To be fair, the entire thing about him being a quote-unquote gadgeteer is most of the stuff is just other heroes that retired stuff.
Or stuff from his exes, or, stuff he collected. Yeah. He just has extra dimensional storage in his shorts, so. But anyway, the man doing it, he was just in a white suit. He wasn't in like a costume or anything. He was just floating up there, just doing the whole, like, standing in the air, arms crossed. You got a good look at him, not somebody anybody recognized. The agent afterwards was going to go back, or was going to swing by the police department and have their sketch artist, describe to their sketch artist what he saw. When you landed the Thought, who is the psychic on the Defenders, he did tell you he sensed a lot of psychic energy had been used in the area.
Mm-hmm.
And Agent Cryer was basically threatening the other agents in the area. If anybody filmed him in that hat, destroy that film. It was a slight moment of levity in an otherwise very dark situation for the agents, though.
It's not really a open casket funeral for the
No. That you just kind of sweep it all together, cremate it, and make sure everybody has enough ashes to do something with.
Yeah.
Let's see. After that, y'all parted ways. Well, I think the Defenders hitched a ride back into town. Back over where their base was in the flyer.
Yes.
Let's see. Y'all went back to base. You had the debrief with Offerman. He was pretty happy with everybody's performance. A little worried about who this new player is, but And I believe that's where we wrapped. So we are picking up, about a week later or so. If there's anything y'all would have done proactively during that week, or anything you want to do with your personal stuff, I guess now it's time to bring it up.
Skater Boy would want to make sure to get in contact with Siphon and Wraith and make sure that they are getting legal representation of their choice.
Well, now remember, the guy in white took them.
Yeah, sorry.
That's what the attack was. It was a rescue. And looking into the past, I forgot you heard a little bit of conversation between them and their benefactor. That made it sound like they definitely didn't know who he was either. Yeah, and his only real response to them when they asked him questions was, "Let's get somewhere more comfortable, somewhere safer, and then we will converse."
I do want to look into their team a little bit, but I also know that I am not the best suited for that.
So Skater Boy wants to see research on the Mutant Defense Militia, but doesn't want to do the researching himself.
Well, if there's someone I can get to assist, or do it and I assist. If not, I'll just do it solo. But
Boogeyman would gladly lead the research into the MDM with
Alright.
Skater Boy's assistant.
Okay. Excuse me.
Just knowing who all has been in the Mutant Defense Militia might have information to give if we can find any of them.
Okay, that's fair. So you know the current
then-
team. Oh, go ahead, Margo.
Oh no, I was about to ask, did I need a roll for that investigation, or if it was just
Oh.
something that'd be passively done?
Yeah, go ahead and give me a roll. I mean, there'll be certain information that you get regardless because you've got a week to just look stuff up. So.
And
Let's-
with Skater Boy, that'd be a +1 or 2, I forget.
It'll just be a +2, I believe, for one assist.
Yes, that's correct.
So that bring that up to a 10.
All right, so you need an 11. All right, so that's a major success. All right, so you know Wraith, Siphon, and Grim Noir are the current team. And it's assumed they have people that are helping them. Though there's no indication of it being like a formal support staff. But they think they have. There's probably a scattering of mutants all over the country that assist them where they can. You know. While there is some suspicion that they may be related or connected some kind of way to the mutant underground, there is also conflicting evidence that them and the leadership of the underground are actually kind of in conflict. And the mutant underground is ran by, was it Foreshadow or Foresight? What was his name?
Foresight. Because
That sounds right.
I remember because when I made the villain Hindsight.
That's right. Yes. And Foresight is, a mutant with, or believed to be a mutant, with precognitive abilities. Essentially, and basically a retired superhero. He only got deeply into mutant rights, more or less, as he was retiring from regular superheroing. There are reports that he was involved in the resistance against the Lady Feyre. But several heroes with quote unquote psychic abilities, seem to be resistant to whatever she was doing. Let's see. Out of that team of the MDM, Grim Noir is the only serving original member. He's been active with them since the late 60s. There have been other members. Some of them have died in conflicts with heroes, the military, various private security forces. The MDM is, of course, listed as a terrorist organization. Let's see. There is one member known to be in custody that was arrested in the 70s that they've apparently never managed to bust out. But of the other members that are no longer active, nobody really knows what happened to them. You know, there's one arrested that managed to be held. A handful known to have died in action, and then the rest of them, at some point, they just stopped showing up at the team. In some cases, probably just aged out. But nobody really knows. The government was investigating them pretty heavily. But the Spear super team never seemed to make them a priority. Though it was known that the precursor team, the Unknowns, encountered them multiple times in and around Manford. Well, Manford and Rhodes Ferry, I think. Let's see, you get a little bit on their background. I think Grim Noir, I think we've gone into his background before. You know, cop through the 50s, got his family through kind of the social unrest, but then within a month or so of being outed as a mutant, you know, house was burned down. This is what radicalized him. Wraith was, I don't know if debutante is quite the right word, but she came from a wealthy family. Had some encounters with the law growing up, but typical sort of rich party kid kind of stuff, you know. Stuff that should probably have gotten her into more trouble than it did because of her parents, but and then in her late teens, she came into her powers, used them on her parents by mistake, got shunned by her parents, and found her way into the MDM after that. And if you remember, she's got an energy draining touch. It is not in and of itself lethal or anything. You know, if she drains you too much, you just collapse and, you know, wake up later feeling exhausted. Siphon, on the other hand, criminal tendencies, in and out of jail, in and out of juvie growing up. And the pattern just sort of kept up once he came into his powers. They're not 100% certain when he was recruited. But he's been an active member with the MDM for years now. Almost like he's found a purpose. And I think you would have all of their real names. But I don't have their sheets pulled up right now, and it's not important at the moment. And you look at the records of the places the MDM hit. Most recently, it's mostly been corporation labs, the occasional supervillain lab, if that villain in question happened to be experimenting on mutants. They hit a place I think it was in Rhodes Ferry several years back. That police investigation showed that place had been vivisecting mutants, you know. So most of the public accepts the, well, they're just terrorists and just sort of writes them off as that. But you've got a decent chunk of the population that the feelings are much more mixed on them. Like, we're not necessarily comfortable with people going around blowing stuff up, but, you know, they were pulling people off of, you know, pulling people out of a lab that, you know, were being experimented on. So
when you pull a person off of an illegal surgery table, it's like, hard to really say that they're the bad guys.
Yeah, that's a difficult argument to make.
Mm-hmm. Now, in the process of that rescuing, they kill virtually every scientist in the place.
Same time. Come.
You broke up there.
Oh, same time. Come.
It keeps waiting till you start talking and then cuts off the last half of the word.
It does. It's evil.
But so yeah, if you go online, there's people that debate, how they should be whether they should even be classified as a villain group, whether terrorist is really the right word. Some people look at them as vigilantes.
And definitely out of character, but Curtis would say one man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter.
Mm-hmm.
As unpopular an opinion as that may be.
A lot of it's about perspective. But anyway, so that's what you get researching them. So that's Skaterboy and Boogeyman.
Of course, I guess I should say, sometimes a terrorist is just a terrorist.
That is also true. All right, so is there anything the influencer's doing in the week,
I don't have anything on the agenda. He's might see if he can find out anything more about. He's very terrified of the headsman, obviously. You might see if he can find out anything more about him.
Okay. Give me intelligence. Let's see what skill.
I don't have any investigation or anything like that. So, but I'll be rolling a D100. Oh,
Well, that doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right at all. All right, let me see. Yeah. I don't see anything that would help you with research.
Oh man, as good as I can get, and I still.
Yep.
I still failed.
So you find a few very vague references to him is all. It's like the name is known. You can find a rough description of him. And yeah, he's strong. Yeah, that scythe is probably, magical. You've got people online that, will argue about whether or not it's magical or tech. But those are just the people that always argue about magic or tech. Even in this world, some people don't want to admit magic exists.
And I hope that the stories are enough. They're spooky enough to just make him more afraid of them. Should the headsman ever return?
Well, nobody seems to know who he is or where he comes from. He just kind of appears and goes.
Or his benefactor or boss be revealed. None of that would ever happen, obviously.
Even the name, the Pantheon, doesn't seem to be very well known. Though it crops up a couple of times. One conspiracy site, has reference to a superhero team fighting them down in South America a few years back. But it's vague, like it says a superhero group, it doesn't say who. And there's one spot that's got his real name, but that's literally a post that just went up.
Right.
Because y'all did just arrest him, and his real name did just get out. Though his lawyer is already arguing that, that he was under the influence of a cursed object and cannot be held responsible.
And I can see the argument now. How many headsmen have there been?
How do we know it's not a different dude every time he shows up? So Influencer spends the week fixated on his new phobia.
Yes. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid.
All right, what about Whippet?
Right now I don't have anything. I did have some thoughts about upgrading my character because I've got all these advancements I haven't used, but so anything I'm working on this week would probably be related to those. Let me just tell you what I'm thinking of.
Okay.
I mean, I guess an easy one would be to increase my weapon skill. Well, anyway, we can get back to that later. But
Okay. Sounds like Whippet is spending the week training.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. So you have a week pass. It's a fairly quiet week. There's a few little things that crop up. Y'all roll out and have to handle some Curtis, what is Black Dragon's gang called again? I know it's not the Zoo Crew, but I'm thinking the Zoo Crew.
It changes all the time, but it is always a zoo theme.
Okay.
Because his schemes or modus operandi might change a bit, but he thinks he's hot stuff. So I think the name would reflect that. Something that kind of paints him as a king.
All right, so y'all roll out to take care of some of his thugs. You're called in basically because they're running around in animal masks, so people assume it's super related, and it kind of is. But none of those guys are powered. And today they're calling themselves. I'm trying to think of something animal related or zoo related, and like king
Now the
related.
Lion's Pride. Maybe something lion themed.
Maybe they were all. Yeah, that makes sense. Maybe they were all in lion masks. Maybe it's Black Dragon's Pride or something.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And when you defeat them, a few of them have minor physical mutations, but not anything you'd call a power. And the Detroit Defenders make the news again a couple of times. One, they have their public debuting, where they kind of announce to the city that they're there. What their purpose is, what their philosophy is. Basically the whole we're not trying to be flashy or get famous or make money off of this, but we are free of any sort of governmental or corporate, entanglements.
That sounds like a dig.
They're not naming names. They're just saying spears of flaming dumpster fire right now. And the
Well, I can't
Visionaries,
argue-
the
I can't-
Visionaries
I can't
are
argue with
great,
that.
but they're owned lock, stock, and barrel by this company that's got this list of things that I've heard as public image, and unforced fouls, so to speak. But they don't go into that kind of detail. They just regularly point out we're not tied to the government, nor do we have corporate overseers. So that's simply a public event that runs more smoothly than your initial unveiling went.
Yeah, maybe we should have blown up a city block while they timed their event.
Oh,
They do address that. They do address that in their opening statements as well.
I like how you think with it.
And then the other time they make the news, they're stopping a crime. Some of your kind of B tier schmucky villains for hire rolled into town to do something. And there was a brief fight, and they arrested everybody involved, or not arrested. They held everybody involved until Spear and law enforcement arrived and arrested everybody. So nothing super big, but they're off to a good starting week. The following week, early Monday morning, your alarms go off. Not like alarms going off throughout the hallways, but in your individual rooms or on your individual comms. The alert goes off. You know that means you need to get in costume into the briefing room. Now, of course, you've got your communicators with you, so you can be quizzing Carol on what's going on as you're getting dressed and stuff.
what's the situation, Carol?
Seems to be superhuman combat going on the west side of town. Reports indicate people in powered armor. We seem to be getting
Anyone
mixed
familiar with-
reports. Some of it sounds like the Majestics, but some of it sounds like those gold energy sword guys that the Pantheon use. You hear her typing.
Sword Saints?
Sword Saints. Is it just me, or is that a pretentious name?
No,
I think
it's pretty
I think
bad.
It's a little pretentious.
I like it. I mean, it's pretentious, but I like it.
And all the gold.
You
I
know,
who just
not-
dips
not-
things in
not-
gold like that?
Not all pretentious things are bad.
It's only pretentious if you don't deserve it.
You can have a little fun with it.
So anyway, as soon as y'all run into the conference room, Offerman's there. He looks like he got dressed quickly. He's in the full suit. He's got his tie. Underneath the tie, you can tell he's mismatched a couple of the buttons and buttonholes. Bags under his eyes. He's got his big cup of coffee. You know he doesn't always stay in the base, but clearly he was in the base overnight this time. But yeah, he tells you, police report's already coming in. Carol told you about the armor suits. While we've had no reports that she is there herself, this is an area Earthmother is known to patrol. He goes, don't know if it's related, but the last time the Pantheon popped up, they were, she was involved. So, other than that, there's like to-go cups of coffee on the table waiting on you.
Oh, bless whoever brought these.
It was Carol's ideal, and we had one of the ladies from the commissary, or not commissary, cafeteria. Brought him up for you.
Are there enough there for one for the driver?
Sure. Seems
The
reasonable.
pilot. Okay, cool. Because if the pilot didn't get a coffee after we had that whole talk last time about setting something up on the roof for him, I'd be Skater Boy would be skipping his coffee to hand it to the pilot.
But well, yeah, he tells you, and so yeah, he gave you that brief little thing. Grab y'all some coffee for the flight. Daniel is getting the flyer ready. So y'all are upstairs. You load in there. Daniel gratefully takes a cup of coffee. And then y'all are up and away. The sun is rising behind you, as y'all are flying westward. As you get to the area, there's some damage to some of the buildings. And in this area, it's like 1 or 2 story buildings. The occasional 3-story building or something. This is not one of the like highly. It's not an industrialized area, and there's none of the like skyscraper big buildings around. These are like homes, apartments, neighborhood stores, that sort of thing in this area. It is not one of the better off parts of the city. Not that the better off parts of Detroit are as good as they used to be, but. Yeah, but you can see damage to the buildings, damage to the roadway. There are a few wrecked vehicles. You can see a couple of the sword saints that are laid out unconscious. And you see Earthmother down there assisting civilians. You don't see any combat currently going on.
Did we miss the fun?
Daniel's like, it's looking like it. It seems safe enough. I'm just going to land y'all, close by. And he picks a relatively empty parking lot and lands in that. Lets y'all out.
Appreciate it. I suppose we should start poking around.
I'll go ahead and drop the spray on knee pads while the group's all together.
Makes sense. Yeah, so out into the parking lot. Stepping off into the sidewalk. Earthmother spots you and gives you a wave. And you see her like moving. It's like some of the brickwork on the front of one of the buildings that's fallen over onto a car, and she's like moving that out of the way, helping people out of the car. Y'all missed most of the fun.
About that,
It's like,
are those goons in power armor? Was it the Sword Saints again? The guys in gold?
She's like, yeah, the same guys from the Foundry. I mean, Spear took off the old guy with the stick, but with the walking stick that turned into a scythe, but so he wasn't here. And Curtis, for some reason, she looks right at the influencer when she says that. Oh yeah, so he's not here.
I'll sigh in relief, but also a little shocked that she would single me out like that.
She's just trying to be reassuring. But yeah, she says, yeah, they, I got jumped by them. I've been extra careful since that happened, but it's been a week and a half. I guess I let my guard down a little bit. But these other guys in armor showed up. Well, two of them were guys anyway.
Were they color coded?
Color coded.
I
mean, they each had their own color scheme. Yeah. He goes, yeah. She goes, yeah. There was a lady. Her armor was mostly blue, like blue and black. None of them were monocolored or anything.
Yeah.
I think she was like their sneaky one. I think she had some kind of stealth stuff going on. There was a larger guy in blue and black armor. And then there was one in like silver and black that had some gold trim.
Can I pull up a picture of the Majestic we have? We're in contact with. Just
actually, Earthmother has probably met. Yeah, Earthmother has met Majestic 7. So yeah, she would actually remark on the fact that the armor did seem very similar to Majestic 7's. She's like, from what I heard, they were just calling each other by name, though. Wait, if yours is if the one with you is Majestic 7, do all these guys just have numbers then? I guess that would explain why they were calling each other by name. But she's like, yeah, they showed up and helped. They didn't seem overly interested in helping clean up. I don't guess I'll gripe too much since, they did kind of turn the tide.
Did they leave with some of the stuff from the Sword Saints?
They took two of the Saints with them. The guy that seemed the one of them that seemed to be in charge of the group coming after me. They took him and just I guess one random one, or at least one that didn't look any different from the rest of them. I kind of got the impression that helping me might have been secondary. Like they told me they were here to help when they showed up, so But they really seemed interested in getting a couple of those guys.
Yeah, the Majestics are operating under their own agenda.
I see. So not exactly heroes is what I'm hearing.
Yeah,
They helped with the Payroll situation, but yeah.
Don't let them take you to a secondary location.
Gotcha. Well, in any case, I'm glad they showed up today. Though they showed up so quick, it makes me wonder if they weren't watching me already. Or maybe they were just following the Sword Saints. Who knows? But I'm suspicious by nature.
Well, with how Professor Prometheus has been, he's the guy in charge of them. How he acts, he probably had like knowledge that the Sword Saints would come after you, and he wants something from them. So he probably did have like people watching you.
No, that's not spooky at all.
It's great. Love it.
You get used to it when you have to deal with like the Illuminati type guys.
I always suspected the Illuminati was real.
Well, like, there's not a big one, but there's like a lot of small ones.
I guess that's reassuring. I guess if there's a bunch of
It's-
small ones, they're competing with each other.
Yeah, it's kind of like. Well, the League of Nations didn't really like fight each other that much. I don't know. It's a lot like countries. But they all kind of like say that they're sticking to their own business, but they're like really getting their noses in everybody else's.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like the government. Well, if y'all want to help clean up, that fight did wind up wrecking a lot of stuff around here.
I guess we could.
All right, so y'all spend the next hour or so, making sure nobody is trapped in collapsed storefronts or stuck in their cars, administering some first aid. No civilians seem to be badly injured. The police show up, the press show up. As they're showing up, Whippet Earthmother tells you, "I'm gonna leave the press to you." Normally, I avoid the police, but I figure I need to fill them in on what's going on with this. I mean, technically, those Sword Saints were kidnapped, I guess. We should probably let the police know. So she talks to the police. The press beeline for you guys. I'm trying to think who has done. I guess Influencer and Whippet have probably been the ones that spoke to the press the most. I don't know. They kind of talk to everybody. They've been kind of talking to everybody in the campaign. So let's see. Who do they go after first? Or who's the first one that runs up and asks the question of somebody? 1, 2, 3. Whippet. First reporter on the scene comes up to you. Whippet, what happened here? What drew the Visionaries in? I see the armored. What would you call them? I guess you call them. I see I see these armored soldiers over here. Are they the same ones that y'all fought at the foundry? And then Mike in your face.
Well, they seem to be exhibiting the same ordnance, armors, weaponry, things like that. Is Earthmother still here, or did she?
She's still there. She's over speaking with the police. And let's see. And the next question is, was the fighting fierce? Did they cause all this damage? I see Earthmother is here. Did she cause the front? Some of the front of one of these buildings to fall off? It's just kind of rapid fire questions.
Oh, right. Well, I think with the heat of the moment, she'd probably wouldn't be too reflective on how she's answering, and I think she would just straight up say that most of the fighting was done by the time we arrived on the scene.
So no comment on who did what because it was over when we got here.
Basically, yeah.
Oh, so did Earthmother
Yeah, she's not.
handle this squad by herself?
We haven't had an opportunity to review the like any existing recordings of that may have captured what happened here.
This is an ongoing investigation.
Yeah, exactly.
So you don't give a whole lot of real answers.
Yeah, Wetbet isn't really all. Yeah, she's not. Yeah, I mean, just given that this wasn't our fight. Yeah, that's basically what she's doing. If we were actually active on the scene, she might be. I don't think she's. Yeah, I don't think Wetbet's typically one to be like super media savvy or conscious, but you know, she's
her mother's
she can
daughter
only
a little
answer
too much for that,
what
huh?
she knows. I think so. Yeah.
So like other press show up, and Skater Boy, you get a mic shoved in your mouth, or not in your mouth, in your face. Excuse me. They're aggressive. They're not that aggressive. Oh, Skater Boy, did the Visionaries, respond to this attack? Who's responsible for all this damage? I see Earthmother over there. Did she cause this? Was she here getting in your way?
That's the second reporter to insinuate that this was Earthmother's fault somehow.
Like, one, I don't like the tone of.
Wetbet is savvy enough to notice.
I don't like the tone of like taking a young teenage hero and like blaming them for collateral damage when like murderers are coming after them. One, we gotta watch for that. Okay, that's like not.
Oh, it wasn't intentional. I assure you.
Yep, but the subliminal stuff is what like gets you with stuff like this. But no, like the Sword Saint guys came in. There's this group like Pantheon or something where they're like really wild about people who have like naturalistic super abilities. They're like trying to hunt her to capture her for some reason. They're like crazy. And also like super secretive. So it's like hard to know really why they want to do it at the moment. We're researching right now, investigating. And then like they were interrupted in their attempt by another group, the Majestics, who like have a mixed history of like helping and hurting people. So it's kind of like a mixed bag that they even showed up, but like they helped out. But they did like kidnap 2 of the Sword Saints illegally, so like we have to find them now to talk to them about how like they came in and helped and did like vigilante hero work, which is nice, but then they like extrajudiciarily like kidnapped 2 guys who needed to be like arrested. And like we've got to find Professor Prometheus, the guy like in charge of the Majestics, to like ask him to let those 2 people back so they can be processed correctly.
Oh, I see. So it was a villain group and a possibly villain, possibly vigilante group, with Earthmother stuck in the middle. And then y'all came to the rescue.
Well, by the time we showed up, like the Majestics had most likely been, and we're gonna talk more with Earthmother about this. We're most likely tailing her because they knew the Sword Saints were gonna try to find a moment to jump her. So we're gonna make sure like she's set up with proper protection of what she deems acceptable. It's like we're not gonna like follow her, but we want to make sure she knows exactly what's up and like set up a schedule if need be. But like this one was just 2 ambushes, but by the time we got there, Earthmother had herself handled and she was like, okay.
Oh, I see. Thank you for your candid answers.
Kind of like no problem. Yeah.
Oh, but the Visionaries have been seen occasionally in the company of someone that I believe was identified as Majestic 7. So how is she tied into these Majestics?
She is an ex-member. When there are personal details I can't like go into. Like she had a reason of like, oh, actually these people are bad. and I need to get out of here. And then a device that was tracking her broke, and we were like able to get her to safety.
Oh, I see. That paints the rest of the Majestics in an even poorer light. They're sounding more villainy.
Well, yeah, but like some of them have like trackers installed, so we don't know how much of it is of their own will and how much of it is like, I can keep you trapped in this suit, and also I'm tracking you at all times. So it's like, you might be doing bad things, but you might be under duress. So we can't like blanket statement on
Oh,
it,
I see.
if that makes sense.
Oh, perfect sense. Thank you for your time. And they move on, and they're interviewing some people. Others would approach you, influencer, with much the same questions.
Right. Influencer will be maybe slightly out of his normal character, and he will try not to be a tool, and make it very clear that they've only been involved in the cleanup. We would have liked to have assisted, but the fight was over before we got here. So we're doing what we can to help out.
All right. And Boogeyman, some would come by and question you as well. Yeah. Are we to take that Boogeyman flounders in front of the camera a little bit?
I basically just give same rundown that Skater Boy gave.
Okay. So y'all doing that. The police are, Earthmother is managing to avoid the press by talking to the police. And like, when she's done giving her actual statement, she then has, carries some of the, or has some of the police with her over to the sword stand, and she started showing them how to take off the armor. Or at least take off the gauntlets that, her and Influencer had figured out how to take off the gauntlets the last time y'all fought them. So she's now showing the police how you disarm them. And warning them that the gauntlets have a little bit of a charge in them, when they're not connected to the armor, but it won't last very long. You even see her put one on and show the police how to pop the blade. And then, leaves the blade out for a minute or so, and then it fades out because, it runs out the power in the gauntlet's capacitors. Spear shows up. An Agent Foley is in charge. He's not an agent you've met before, but
Please tell me he's played by Eddie Murphy.
Yep.
If you want to picture him that way, go right ahead. It was a name I just plucked out of my head. I was actually picturing Chris Farley, but Foley was the name that popped up for some reason. I mean, I wasn't picturing the agent as Chris Farley when I was trying to think of a name. Chris Farley popped up. I'm not making this any better. Anyway, so he shows up. Y'all have to give a repeat your report to him, kind of. His agents are going over and taking off the armor or packing up the armor. It sounds like the regular police will maintain custody of the Saints themselves, since they're without the armor, they're just normal dudes. Before the prisoners are taken, or the prisoners are taken off, one of the officers does come over to you guys. And tells you one of the prisoners wants to, and the Agent Foley is there too. Because one of the prisoners has woken up and wants to speak to y'all.
Well, now that's interesting.
He talks like it's important. It's a little unusual. He talks like it's important. And this is just a regular officer, so he kind of glances over at the spear agent. Anyway, he looks at you guys and goes like, if y'all are interested in what he says, I'd be interested to hear it.
I mean, any lead is better than no lead, so take us to him.
So you go to the police car he's in, and he's handcuffed. He's sitting in the police car. He's in basically an undershirt and his boxers because they've taken the armor off of him. Apparently, they don't wear a whole lot of
had
underwear.
like some kind of? Yeah, do you think they had some kind of liner suit or something?
Gator Boy will gently put himself behind Boogeyman.
Why behind Boogeyman?
Skater Boy been in the business a couple of years. I know I have a thing that they want. I don't want to give them a direct line of contact.
What do you have that the Pantheon would want?
Don't I still have the headsman's scythe in my jorts?
Oh yeah.
I thought we turned that over to.
You had taken steps to try to contact the Crucible, but he has not gotten back to you yet.
Yeah.
Oh.
I still have an
I think
incredibly dangerous weapon in my jorts.
That is, that's definitely something dangerous to keep in the jorts.
Is that a magic stick in your jorts, or are you just glad to see me? So okay, y'all get over there. And the guy he was wearing the armor, but he clearly got knocked around enough that he, you see bruises already forming. Visionaries. I understand that 2 of my colleagues were taken by the armored people that, how would he put it, interfered,
Interlope.
The armored interlopers. The two of my companions or compatriots were taken by the armored interlopers.
That'd be correct, henchman number 524.
He just looks at you like, fair enough. If Spear will give you one of the helmets, I can show you how to track everybody else in my squad. I don't know what the interlopers would want. With my field leader or the other henchman. It's like he was almost going to say the guy's name. Like, well, let's not give away his name. Basically, if the interlopers have not disabled the suits quickly enough, you might be able to track them down. While I'm not thrilled with the idea of them being arrested, Spear and the local government will treat us better than some other organization with agents like that. Agent Foley turns to one of the police and basically sends them to flag down or flag down one of the other one of the other Spear agents. Tell him Agent Foley, is requesting one of the helmets be brought over here. So they do that. The guy tells them when you need to put the helmet on, and basically gives you instructions on how to, access the system enough to bring up like the tracking map.
Boogeyman's gonna pop off his helmet, put on the Sword Saint helmet.
All right, so he gives you instructions, and you can control the HUD with eye movements and stuff. It's a little awkward since you're not used to it, but gets kind of intuitive fairly quickly. It's like whoever designed the software for these things was a genius, or has had plenty of time to iterate, one or the other.
Be open to those compliments.
The guy sort of nods. Yes. The crap. I'm blanking on the totally blanking on the headsman's boss's name. Because I don't have his sheet open up. Yeah. But he's the leader of our organization, complete and utter technical genius. He speaks with great reverence of this man. And sure enough, you get a map of the city. You see multiple dots right where you are. Which is the downed guys whose armor is now in the spear truck or van or whatever. And he tells you even if they've taken the armor off of the guys, kind of like you should still be seeing, like my armor, and he just over the other guys, the rest of, you still be seeing our armor presently here. Just taking the armor apart, even powering the armor down, won't turn the tracker off. They'd have to know it's there or have the equipment to find it and disable it. Which, considering they're in powered armor, I'm sure they've got that equipment if they have time to use it before you catch them. But please, go save my brothers.
Yeah, we need to get a hold of the people who yoinked them. Question, do you know why specifically y'all were sent to target Earthmother?
Our purpose is to find the spark of divinity, in those that have been given it, and study them to enable us to give that spark to everyone. He goes, I'm not involved in all that sciencey part of it, but I do what I can.
And sounds about right. And of course, we go about it in the creepiest, weirdest way possible.
Look, in the early days of modern medicine, they had to dig up corpses to find out how the human body worked. But how many lives have been saved by that research?
You could just put out a want ad, but this is just not gonna go anywhere. We'll save your cult buddies. Don't you worry.
Also, not for nothing, but those corpses you mentioned were already dead when he started experimenting on them.
Well, they did experiments
certain
when
that,
possible on live people as well. I mean, yeah, that one fellow that had the flap in his side. That they studied his digestive system while he was still alive.
Oh, is that a thing that actually happened?
Oh,
Well,
yeah, actually.
To be fair, he was dying and told them that they could do that.
I'm pretty sure they
grab
didn't
them off
ambush him
the
off the street.
street.
Those with the divine spark often guard it jealously, and you can tell he is repeating quotes he has heard.
Okay, but
Yeah,
it feels like in a lot of instances, protecting the divine spark is an extension of them protecting their own life. Especially in moments like this where you come out with swords. So I understand a lot of self-defense happening and being misregistered as greed. Anyway, let's go save your friends. Sorry. A police car is like a great place for a debate, but not the best.
Have you had a lot of police car debates?
I was like a skater in the 90s. Yeah.
Nothing to do with superhero. It's just the skater part of it. All right, so you've got the tracking information. Agent Foley gives you permission to take one of the helmets. Keep the helmet for the duration of this. When you find out where they're at, call it in. He's gonna have more agents on the way. If possible, basically, if you think you can get them out, by all means, get them out. If you feel like you need to wait for backup, that's fine. Just contact me when you know something. All right. So what are y'all doing?
Suppose we will follow the little flippy dot.
All right. So y'all load back up in the flyer. Daniel takes you up in the air, asks you where we're headed.
Give him the coordinates, and I'll also radio in to let M7 know if she wants to have a reunion with some old friend, and put that little broadband scanner I built for her to the test.
Yeah. She thinks she wants to be there for this. So yeah, if you feed her the coordinates, she'll head that way. She'll head that way and meet you there.
Please, if you get there before us, do not engage until we show up. We want numbers on our side for this.
Of course. She has no desire to take on 4 or 5 people equipped just like she is by herself. And then you hear other Karen behind her, by ourselves. She's like, I believe Karen will be coming with me. Sounds like Karen will be coming with me as well.
Hey, the more the merrier.
All right, so y'all fly over that direction. You are the ones that get there first. As you're getting close, M7 and Miss Manhattan, they pop into y'all's comm. They switch their comms over to y'all's comm signals or channel. As you approach, it is a it looks like it was some sort of probably like a large hardware store, maybe like an old Sears building. Something like that. There's loading docks. There's a loading dock. The parking lot is old and clearly has not been repaved any time in the past decade. And over to one side of it, there's like a pretty much completely empty strip mall, little strip mall. But the large building, what was probably a Sears or a hardware store or something, that's where the signal is coming from. As you approach, Daniel asks you where you want to put the flyer down.
Part of me says right down on top of the Sears building.
He's pretty sure that roof would hold the flyer.
Yeah.
All right, so he brings the flyer down on top of the roof. He goes, now it's landing like this. You know, they're going to hear it inside. They're going to know we're here. That's assuming they don't have a camera or something watching the roof anyway.
Quite honestly, I expected them to be expecting company. So
Yeah, that's fair. All right, so he lands, drops y'all off. He asks you, do you want me to leave it parked, or do you want me to, get some air and do laps and just be ready to come in when y'all need me?
air. Yeah, get some air, do laps. We don't want you in the blast.
He looks relieved, like that's the answer he wanted to hear. So he drops y'all off. He takes off. By the time he's cleared the area, Miss Manhattan and Majestic 7 are showing up. And where Majestic 7 does that kind of rocket boot super leap, she is not doing that right now. Miss Manhattan just has her, hand under each arm and just kind of carrying her. And then drops her on the roof before landing herself. So that is 6 of y'all here.
Glad you could make it. So it is a hostage. Bleh, about a hostage situation. I give him a quick rundown. Sword Saints, guys from last week, try to kidnap Earthmother again, and they kidnapped 2 of them. One of them was the field leader of the team.
Miss Manhattan's like, all right. It's not quite getting to beat up the gold guys like I was wanting, but yeah, we can do it. Where Majestic 7 is like, okay, understand the mission. What in the world? If we can take one of the other Majestics, we might want to, because why in the world would they care about the Pantheon?
An overlapping goal with Prometheus.
I guess.
He seems to be fixated on metahumans, the Pantheon, on the divine spark as a method of elevating humanity.
Oh, so they both want to elevate humanity.
Well, it's also a thing of like, if the divine spark is an actual like thing that can be harnessed or harvested, then like that's a new fun way of like dispersing amongst humanity that Prometheus would probably enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, magic's not usually his thing, but if he thought there was some sort of physical something, yeah, okay, I guess it makes sense.
Weirdo eugenicists are gonna weirdo eugenicists.
I think the professor thinks of himself more as a transhumanist.
I like that name.
Well, transhumanism is a thing. He's kind of like, and that's why while he's mucking around with metahuman or superhuman genetics, he was also messing around with cybernetics and robotics and uploading minds and all that. He had, as of the last time I spoke to him, he had not settled on what the preferred method was. Though I think he'd kind of given up on us.
That just seems rude.
Yeah. Trust me, being an uploaded mind is not all it's cracked up to be. Miss Majestic gets a slightly worried look when 7 says that. But now is not the time for her to go into it, so she doesn't say anything. All right. How are y'all going in?
Part of me says literally just knock a hole in the roof and we just drop down. But then again, most of us aren't flyers, and is there? I suppose there's probably a roof. Right?
Yes,
A loading area.
there is a loading dock on the back of the building. We know, like the big roll-up doors. There are at least a couple of like roof hatches. You know, it's not like you see it like on the top of some apartment buildings where it's like, you know, almost like a little separate building with a door that opens up to the stairs. These are just hatches. You know, you come up a ladder and open the hatch and come in, or come out. I guess I should say.
My gut tells me that the loading dock would be how the Majestics leave and enter, especially when they're carrying prisoners.
Mm-hmm. So I say we break off into two teams. One going through the roof hatches, and the other making an assault on the loading dock.
All right, how y'all going to divide the teams up?
That sounds like a very reasonable plan.
Yeah, I feel like Whippet would be a roof hatch person.
All right, so
Same with
Whippet
Boogeyman.
is Whippet and Boogie. Our team roof.
That sounds like me and Skater Boy are team loading dock.
Influencer and Skater are Doc.
And like the loading dock's gonna be like probably a louder entrance than a roof hatch. So like we should probably take Miss Manhattan and like being able to turn invisible or wrong Majestic.
Yeah.
But
yeah, 7 yeah, the invisible Majestic is actually she might already be up here on the roof. Carlene, are you up here? If you are, you better just leave. There's no response.
Which one, baby? Are you hungry?
All right, so does that mean y'all want to send Majestic 7 with Whippet and Boogie? Or does she go in with a loud team, and the loud team just has more people and is making more noise?
Metagame, I want Majestic to go with Boogeyman.
That's fine. She'll go wherever.
Because Skater Boy knows Boogeyman has a crush on Majestic.
What?
Hello? What do you mean, Bob?
I don't know if Boogie was paying attention.
Miracle does sound distracting, so we can wait.
I can make some jokes.
All right, but that gives y'all an individually divided team then.
All right, I'm sorry about that. Somebody was requesting some toast.
Understandable.
You know, chat about it.
All right, so
feels a little today.
The teams have divided into Whippet, Boogeyman, and Majestic 7 going through the roof access. Influencer, Skater Boy, and Miss Manhattan going through the loading dock and probably making a lot of noise while they do it.
Yes.
All right, so Miss Manhattan, Influencer, she's offering to carry you down.
Okay.
Skater Boy's physically active. She's seen him jump around. She figures he can get down there on his own without too much trouble.
How many stories high is this building?
It's like a Sears. So rough. There's only
More than
the
two.
one floor inside, but it's probably about 2 stories tall. What we think of.
All right.
Think of a decent sized Walmart. That's about how tall it is. What she doesn't warn you, influencer, though, is that she's also going to be the one busting through the roll up door.
Nice.
So she scoops you up like newlywed bride style, swoops down the building, and then just before she hits the door, she kind of spins around so that her back, so that she goes through it backwards.
So we were making noise anyway, so part of that noise is going to be influencers screaming like a girl.
So the door kind of partially crumbles around you before it kind of tears off the roller, collapses onto the loading dock floor. Lots of noise. You're screaming. She sits you down like, dude, that was right in my ear. If it wasn't for this comm unit plugged in there, I think I'd be deaf. I've got to take you onto a roller coaster sometime.
Please don't.
All right, so y'all are in the loading dock. They haven't done much to clean it up, but the floor has clearly been swept, though the garbage is just swept over to the sides. And there are some crates and some relatively new looking equipment in here. Looks like they were just setting the place up. But you don't see anybody in the loading dock itself. On the roof, y'all go to the hatch. The hatch is already unlocked. It looks like it was padlocked shut, and the padlock looks like it has been twisted off. Like somebody just reached up and twisted it till it popped and then tossed it to the side. But it did not damage the hatch or anything like that.
So they probably initially gained access here, went in, then opened up the loading dock.
Seems like a reasonable theory. All right. Not to sound like an old D&D game, but what's the marching order? Who's going down the hatch first?
Boogeyman will go down. Will go down first, just because he can pretty good hit.
Okay.
Then the paladin with the plate mail first.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. So Boogie, you're on the ladder. You're going down. So you only go down maybe 10 or 12 feet before you hit a floor, which can't be the ground floor. A quick look around, you realize you're in what would be the back of the store, not the sales floor.
Mm-hmm.
And to one side, you see there's a little walkway and then some stairs that go down, and the stairs kind of weave around this big air unit that is not currently turned on. And right where you come down, right next to the ladder, is a big door that says compressor room. So you realize you're in basically the back of the store. This is where the air unit and the compressors for the air and all that are. And you take those little walkway down the stairs, and you'll be down on the ground floor at that point. You do not hear any noise coming from the compressor room either, so.
I signal back up that we're good to go down, and also stick my head into the compressor room just to see if there's any shenanigans.
You stick your head in there. You can flip the light switch; it comes on. Nothing is going on in here. it looks like somebody may have been working on one of the compressors. Like there's a thick layer of dust over most of it, but there's a little area in at least one of the compressors that you can tell somebody's been doing something because it stirred up the dust.
Would they need air conditioning?
That is a good question. All right, Whippet. Boogie had signaled you that it was safe to come down.
Yep.
Would you go down next, or would you
Go
send
ahead
Majestic
and,
7 down?
Honestly, well, since Boogie's given the okay, I'd go down. Otherwise, I would have let Majestic
Okay.
go in next.
Okay. So you climb down right quick. And you hear the sound of metal on metal as Majestic 7 starts to climb down. And then you hear an energy discharge from up on the roof.
Yeah.
7 kind of gives a little ah! And then she falls off the ladder. It's like a 10-foot drop. She lands on her back. There's a couple of scorch marks on the armor. And she swears, "Carlene, I knew you were up there." And as she stands up, the little micro missile launcher folds out of her shoulder thing and is like aimed up the hatch entrance. She's not gonna be dumb enough to stick her head through there.
You a whole plug-in just so she couldn't get a jump on you.
What was that? I didn't catch the beginning of that.
I built you a whole plug-in just so she couldn't get a jump on you.
Oh, I forgot
Just
about
standing
that.
there with his arms crossed.
I knew you had given her the thing where she couldn't be tracked, or couldn't be not tracked. I was thinking about the trackers. Yeah, the shutdown thing. I was not thinking about the fact that you had tried to come up with the
little broadband scanner thing.
Yeah. You see 7's head dip slightly, and you hear her go, "I'm sorry. It's not part of the it's not part of the suit's baseline operating system. I forgot to turn it on."
No, it's fine. It's fine. I just worked 72 hours on it. Not straight, but 72.
Okay, it's on now. If she tries to follow us down, I'll know. Hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
If it works. Look, I can climb back up and peek out and see if I can see her.
Don't do that. You'll just get your head shot off.
Well, do we just keep going knowing she's behind us, or?
I'm going to whip up one of those foam grenades and just toss it up into the shaft. Try and just clog it up.
Okay. So yeah, you chunk it up there. Good throw. It gets up into the very entranceway of the hatch, hits the side hard enough to trigger it, and yeah, the whole thing just fills in with foam. 7 nods. Yeah, okay. If she blasts through that, we'll hear it. So there's no sneaking through that.
I wonder if I could make a corrosive formula.
What, like an acid foam?
Yeah. Just in case anybody did try to burrow through it if I blocked something.
Sounds like it would damage whatever you were blocking, which, might or might not be a problem depending on where you're at.
It really depends on how I set it up, but let's go try and save people and wring some answers out of your friend. Or co-worker.
Former coworkers. All right, so she starts down the stairs. We cut back to the loading dock. So yeah, standing in the empty loading dock, you hear some of the commotion that the other team is going through. You know, the big armored suit falling on the cement floor and the yelling at Carlene.
Well, I'm sorry. Well, like, we're in the trap now. We might as well, like, plant both feet on it.
All right, so
And
exiting the dock. If nobody interferes, Miss Manhattan will be, first in line going through the door. Basically using the same logic Boogeyman was using. She knows she can take a punch pretty well, or take a hit pretty well, so. Sorry, just realized I hadn't loaded her stats up. So anyway, we got it now. All right, so you walk from the loading dock into this, the back kind of storage area of the store. You hear the other team coming down the stairs. You realize both of y'all are, coming out into the back area. But like when you step out of the loading dock, there's a long hallway, and it's kind of the opposite end of that hallway is where the hatch let in. So if both of you sort of go straight out on the sales floor, you could almost be like pincering anything that's in the cell, middle of the sales area. Now, do you want to look around more in the back, or do you want to go out into the main area of the store? Oh, did we lose Mike?
he disappeared from a roll 20.
Muted on Discord, but not disconnected yet.
Failed to start camera.
Yeah, he's kind of spinning.
Yep. Probably a connection issue.
I'll bet he'll be back.
Oh, more than most likely. It hasn't fully kicked him off of Discord, so. Though, like somebody said, it did kick him out of Roll20. All right. Well, anyway, y'all are so. Like I was asking, do you want to look through the back more or step out into the main area?
I'm good with just shooting forward through it.
All right, so
sticking with Skater Boy.
All right, so Skater Boy, the dock team just moves, off the dock, out of the back of the store into what would have been the sales floor. Stepping out there, there's a couple of lights. There's very minimal lights on, but you do have natural light coming from the big windows at the front of the store. That's everything's dim, but it's not dark. It was darker in the back end of the store where you just had a few of the emergency lights that stayed on. Roof team, what are y'all doing?
We are heading down to the lower floors.
Okay. So you got down to the lower floors. Down the hallway, you saw where the other team was coming out of the docking area and moving, into the main part of the store. They're over on the side of the store y'all are on. There's There's an entryway, swinging doors out into the sales floor. But there's also like some offices and some, other, storage areas. There's other rooms back here in the back of the store as well. It just kind of depends on where y'all want to look first.
I suppose around on the top floor before signal to the ground floor team, and then rummage around in the top area real quick.
Well, no, I was saying y'all had gotten down to the ground floor.
Oh, okay.
Because it wasn't an entire floor that was raised. It was like that compressor room and some of the air equipment.
Okay. Yeah, I know it's described as like a good-sized Walmart, but in my head I was picturing like a proper mall, like multiple floors. Okay, I got you.
Yeah. This is more of a Walmart, Sears, whatever.
Yeah.
The whole compressor room I'm describing from work. And then it occurred to me that Sears would not need nearly as big a compressor room.
They really overinvested in this location. It's part of why they shut down.
Could be.
Yeah, just head down, meet up with them, and rummage around in some of the storefronts, like some of the ones we see off the top of our head.
All right, so you step out in the sales floor, and you can see where there was there was a counter over here. That the paint area. There was it had its own counter. There's lots of shelves. The shelving is empty. Some of it's not in the best repair. There are areas of the tiles in the ceilings that a bunch of the tile is black and kind of drooping, and even spots where it's fallen in from water damage. Where the roof must be having some leaks. Yeah, this store has clearly been closed a while, and nobody's really been keeping it up. Probably not an unusual sight in some areas of Detroit. Give me awareness, please.
Sure. Would investigation go into this?
This is more about just listening.
Gotcha.
And that's for all of y'all.
Is that for everyone?
Yeah, that's for everybody that stepped out there. Yes.
That's 13. Nice.
All right. Difficulty was a 9. So Boogie got a 13. That passes. Whippet met it, so that's a pass. What about Skater Boy and Influencer?
All
right,
Influencer. A rare 8.
Influencer don't hear nothing. Skater Boy don't hear nothing. Oh yeah,
I hear nothing. I see nothing.
Hang on just a moment while I ban a bot from the chat.
Uh-oh.
All right. The auto mod had already caught it and was holding it until I checked it. All right, and Miss Majestics awareness is a 4. She rolled a 1, so a total of a 5. She hears nothing. And then Majestic 7 is also a 4, which makes sense as they're mentally the same person. Or at least started off mentally as the same person. She got a 7, which is not a 9, so she also does not hear anything. That leaves, I believe, Whippet and Boogie. You hear some muffled from, well, that way, more towards the center of the store. As you move that direction, you realize some of the shelving on the aisles have been moved. Almost like they're making a little boxed-in area in the very center of the store.
I'm gonna ask Whippet if she can like do a trick to down some of that shelving towards us.
How do you mean bounce some of the shelving towards us?
Oh, a pull down shelving towards us. Like
Oh,
catch you with a whip and yank it down.
oh yeah, that's easy.
Okay.
I'm guessing that wouldn't require a roll, would it?
No, not really. You're grabbing an inanimate object at just at a little bit of a distance and pulling it back. And yeah, the shelves aren't bolted to the ground or anything, And being as they're empty, there's not a lot of extra weight helping hold them in place. So yeah, you pull and like one wall of this little box they've built just falls down real loud. There are two guys.
Well, we weren't being stealthy anyway.
Oh yeah. Two guys tied to a chair, in their undershirt and boxers. Identical undershirt and boxers. So while they don't have a uniform they wear under the Sword Saint armor, apparently they have standard issue boxers and undershirts. And they're kind of flinching from the noise, but as soon as they see you, they start wiggling harder in their chairs. Their gags. You're hearing.
It's the Sword Saint Underoos.
Little pictures of the headsmen all over them.
This is just like that. Did this come up when we were talking about Skater Boys merchandising?
It probably did.
Maybe, I think it did.
Skater Boy might actually have Skater Boy Underoos.
I mean, they're skateboards. Once again,
Yeah.
it was the thing was pajama pants, and it was the negotiations had to go where my face was nowhere near the crotch area
That's right.
or the butt. It had to be on the sides of the pants.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Skater Boy was heroing in the 90s. That means he'd have grown up watching 80s wrestling. And a guy named Ravishing Rick Rude one time came out with the picture of his opponent's wife on the crotch of his shorts.
Oh.
And I want to say one time he came out and it was the back of the Ultimate Warrior's head on his shorts. I'm pretty sure I've seen that, but let me not swear to that one.
That is rude.
That is rude.
So, Skater Boy, having grown up in that environment, was like, no, we're not letting that happen.
I watch.
So yeah, so you see the two of them. And then I need. Well, I guess everybody can just give me another awareness. As a figure comes dropping down through one of the ceiling tiles.
That's a 9.
But let's see if he catches you by surprise or not. All right. So I rolled a 7 and a 5 for the two Karens. Now for the fellow that is dropping down on you. And that would be his coordination, essentially for his stealth. Oh, nope. This falls under his battlefield control. Alright, so y'all needed to be 9. So Influencer's not surprised. Boogeyman is not surprised. Whippet is not surprised. Skater Boy. Alright, only the NPC heroes with you are caught off guard by this. As he drops down and fires on, let's see, who would be the biggest threat? Does he feel? Skater Boy, he is shooting at you.
Is it an energy blast or a bullet?
This is a blast.
Curses.
It's like repulsor gauntlet kind of things.
All right.
All right, so his coordination to hit you, but because he's using his suit, all right. So that is an 11 to hit you, which is his max roll. All right, so he hits you for 6 points of damage.
All right. Armor takes off, so I take 1 point of stamina damage, and our group armor drops to a 4.
Okay. Let's see. All right. The rest of you can go ahead and take a turn now, because none of you were surprised. The NPC characters will have to wait until next round. So I'll just go down the list as you lined up here. Boogeyman, what are you doing?
I'm gonna grab some cover and knock together another sticky ball.
Okay. And what rank is that sticky ball going to be?
It's gonna be at ranks
6? He'd cut you off. Did you say 6?
yes, sir. It'll be at rank 6.
Okay. All right. Ooh, only rolled a 1 that time, so the minimum, well, plus the 6, so you only need to beat a 7. A 10 beats a 7. That's not a problem. So you spend the round whipping that together. Influencer.
I think I am going to hang back. And it's just the one guy that came down, right?
So far, you've only seen the one guy. This is this is the one Earthmother mentioned that had was the black and silver with gold trim. As players, I don't know that you've run into this one yet. The characters definitely haven't. Or no, did he show up the last time with Technique? No, that was the super soldiers attacking her. Never mind. All right, so you're just pulling back to see what's going on.
I may hold my attack to see what's going on or assist.
Okay.
Somebody else.
Whip it.
Yes, I'm gonna go ahead and whip strike at black and silver.
Okay.
And just so you know, I just increased my my weapon skill to my weapon specialty to 3. So there's that. Happens.
Let's see if that week of training paid off.
All
right, and that will be prowess.
Coordination.
Oh, coordination. Okay.
Because of the whip, or at least that's what I've been using.
Oh no, you use coordination. He uses it, but it's considered a melee attack, so he'd use his prowess to defend. That's what I meant.
Gotcha.
Oh, that's 2 runs in a row I've rolled. So he got a total of a 6. So that's a massive success. How much damage do you do?
I haven't. It's but right now it's 5. I was thinking about increasing that, but we'll stick with 5 for now. Just so you know, I was also thinking about adding a I kind of envisioned maybe getting like a brand new whip from Futuro that has like a more mechanized whip that has, like, for one thing, lethal and non-lethal options.
Like a taser at
I
the end of
haven't,
it
I
or
haven't
something.
fully implemented. Oh, I
So,
didn't even think about that. You know what? That sounds that's yeah. I like that though. But I haven't implemented that yet.
Okay.
So,
you've been talking to the design guys about it, but they haven't produced a prototype yet.
yeah. So first I have to check for stun, then for kill.
Correct. Oh wait, no, that's
Yeah.
that only triggers if you do 0 or more damage.
Oh, I didn't do any damage.
No. His resistance starts at a 6. Now,
Oh, I gotcha.
now the Majestics tend to have ablative armor, so
Yeah.
you see you see visible marks on the armor from your strike, but you don't think it got through to whoever's inside.
I was planning on bumping that up to a 6, but yeah, not quite yet. But let me write that down just so I don't forget. But all right, no damage yet.
And Scatterboy.
You said he dropped down from the ceiling?
Yeah, he dropped. It's like he was hiding above the, this area of the roof where the supports are. It's like he was hiding up there and he dropped through one of the foam panels, so it breaks. He's firing as it comes down and, then lands kind of in front of y'all, between you and the two guys.
Pardon. Sorry, I've got to pause. Someone's just knocked on my door.
Okay. Let's see. Like I said, Majestic 7 and Miss Manhattan are surprised enough they're not getting to act this round. While waiting on Taylor to get back, though, the rest of you can go ahead and roll your initiative for the next round. We'll do that in regular initiative.
Yay!
So let's see. Coordination for him is that plus his military.
Hello, I'm back.
All right, go ahead and make your whatever you're going to do.
Yeah, I was just going to run up and attempt to grapple him.
Okay.
On a 12. His
All
prowess
right.
or coordination.
Prowess or coordination. He will go with his prowess. He got an 11.
Against a 12, so
you got him in a partial hold.
Yep.
Partial hold, all right. And then I was having everybody go ahead and roll initiative for the next round because that'll be regular initiative for everybody.
All right, got an 8 on initiative.
All right. So Skitterboy got an 8. All right, Majestics with you. Did I not have the other Majestic tokens out? I will. I got the MDM out. We'll just use their tokens for it now. I'm not showing them online, so it won't matter. All right, so Scatterboy on an 8. M9 goes on a 7. M5
We can go last.
on a 9. M12 goes on a 5. M7 goes on at 8. And Miss Manhattan. Too many M words. Ooh, she rolled her minimum, goes on a 5. All right. And then we had Boogeyman on a... Where was it? What was Boogeyman's initiative?
It was a 7.
Oh, okay, I see it now. Skaterboy was an 8. Influencer, what were you?
I think I got a 5.
Okay, I think you got a 5 on the last time, too. At least that's what was already in the turn order. And then Whipette got an 11. Okay. Alright, so first regular round of combat. Some kind of way Earthmother is still on the list. She's not here, however, here, so moving on. Whipette on 11.
All right. I finalized my upgrades, and you can tell me whether they should kick in retroactively or wait. But it's simple stuff. Well, mostly bread and potato stuff. I just bumped up my weaponry by 1. I increased my strength by 1. You could tell me whether or not that can kick in retroactively or not, since it does make a difference given the armor level of the Majestics. I've also added a living legend act just to reflect the popularity that Whippet seems to still inexplicably enjoy post fight with the Basileff. Figured might as well make that official.
Okay.
Also, in my headcanon, the living legend, the popularity thing. Oh, I don't even know if I'm still. Oh, okay. The living legend thing explains why Whippet hasn't. Well, anyway, we'll worry about that later. Anyway,
But yeah, you can all just kick in now. I'm fine with it.
Okay, thanks. I'll go ahead and try another whip strike then, and we'll see if I can crack through the armor this time.
All right, so that is a 10 against Majestic 9 versus
And
his.
remember that his action. Does that action have a added difficulty due to me having the hold on him? Or is that a reaction?
This is reactions.
Okay, yeah. Never mind, you're fine.
Oh, but he only got a 6. So that's another massive success.
Okay. And given that it's not 6 damage, can I at this point roll for the stun?
Yes. Because his armor is ablative, so you didn't damage him, but the armor dropped by 1 last time from that last leak. So this time it's exactly 0. So
okay,
you may roll the stun attacks and stuff.
I think after this issue, that's when I'm going to add the taser option, since I am. Right now I have 7 achievements, and I think I need 8 in order to add a new power. But anyway, stun. Roll for the stun.
All right, and that would be you rolling damage. Oh, what you've done. So he needs to beat a 12. That's nasty.
I did roll well.
That's it. So that's resisted with his strength. Oh, and he only got a 7. So failed by 5. So that's a massive failure. So you hit something important inside, and he's going into a reset mode or something.
That should take him up for the fight if I recall correctly.
Yeah, stun will knock him out. But you also got a kill result.
Oh yeah, let's.
Which is the same roll, so roll the damage again. Oh, you did, okay. That's a 9. He rolls his strength. It's also a 9, so nothing that time.
Oh, that's good.
But you've stunned him for, I think, with a massive failure. I think that's for the chapter. Or scene, or whatever. He is out of the fight.
Right on.
Next up is
Pardon me.
oh, let's see. Influencer, you were hanging back. So this woman has come in from behind. So you're the first person she sees. So Majestic 5, aka Carlene, is going to open up on you with her
Rude.
blast gauntlets. It's a little rude. It's a little rude.
But is it ravishing rude?
I don't know if it's that rude. Give me an awareness roll versus her invisibility / illusion. That stealth thing she's got. Need to beat a 10.
Thank you.
Oh, you got a 7, so you did not. All right, so I'm
Did
gonna give her.
not beat it.
I'm giving her a +2 for a sneak attack, basically. So this is coordination. So it's her coordination plus her talent with her weapon systems. +2 for the.
Outcast.
Now this is to the effort, not the effect. So she's not hitting you harder. She's just hitting you better.
Right.
So you need to beat an 11.
You got me. I got a 7.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's a major success. So her blasts do 7 points of damage.
Oh.
And then you need to roll. Let's see, she needs to roll a 7, and you need to beat that with a strength roll for knockback. Her blasts are force based, so they're not lasers.
Right.
Oh, you do not get knocked back. Maybe it's because you're crouched behind a shelf, so the blast just kind of pushes you into the shelf. But whatever it is, you don't go flying. And then for a knockout, or a stun.
That's also strength.
Yes,
isn't
it's
it?
also strength. This time she rolled max, you need to beat a 13.
I am out.
Ooh.
So you don't.
These last couple of, some of these fights are not going well for Influencer.
Look, he needs to be wearing somebody else, as a armor.
He does. If I wasn't knocked out, I'd be wearing her next turn.
Well,
And you possess-
except that you know from Majestic 7 that all the Majestics are robots inside armored suits.
Oh, that's right. I can't possess robot.
Well, enough money.
Let him move up the corporate chain a little bit. All right, so that was her, and she fades into visibility when she does that. Then Majestic 7 goes. She saw this happen. Like, she was already turning around, like her sensory thing had started to pick it up, but it wasn't her action yet. So she was already spinning around. She sees that. Y'all hear her yell, "Influencer!" And then she activates those boots and dives at Majestic 5.
And the rest of the team is like, "Oh no, Influencer!"
Well, we don't want you to die.
They just want you to get what you deserve. Alright, so that's her prowess versus 5's prowess. And 7's strength is... Oh, it's enough to get through and do a smidge of damage. Not a lot, but a smidge. And it was a massive success. So let's see. So it's a strength of 7, strength is 7, 5, strength is 5. Did not do that on purpose, but it worked, I guess. So she is also stunned. It's not going well for the bad guy Majestics. So Carlene is stunned, but is she also knocked out? Well, she's stunned for the rounds. I don't guess it matters if she gets a knockout. Oh no, this would be for the knockback. So Carlene goes flying, and then they check for the stun. I forgot this is blunt force. All right. So Majestic 5, aka Carlene, she goes flying back into the wall. Halfway catches herself, so she kind of falls forward onto one knee, and is like shaking her head. She's stunned for a round. Skater Boy, you're up.
Holding the now crumpled robot man.
You're now holding an unconscious robot man, yes. Or an offline, however you want to describe it, since it's a robot.
The two people that were like tied up and gagged, are they just like kind of just sitting there or laying there?
Yeah, they are tied to chairs. So
Um,
the one that's facing you is 2 chairs back to back. So the one facing you is watching this fight. And the other one's like, turning as far as he can. And you're like, he's trying to see what's going on, but he's just hearing it all go.
is the rest of the team at a distance from them? Where, like, if I ran up and grabbed them, the team is at a distance where they're not, like, immediately in, like, the blast range of a grenade or something.
Depends on how big a blast it is. Regular old grenade? No, they're further out away than that.
Fair enough.
Because the guys are there, and then it's you and the Majestic you're holding. And then you drop back a little bit further, and it's Whippet,
Looking, a quick look back to the bay door, does it look like there's another rolling door prepped to, like, lock us into the building? Or is that hole we've torn just going to be a hole?
No, it looked like the hole you tore was just going to be a hole. There wasn't anything hinky done to the loading dock that you saw. There was just, it had been roughly swept, and there were some crates and stuff back there, but no modifications. It didn't look like it did need.
Then I will try to run up and carry the 2 people out of the hole we made.
Okay. So you run up, you just grab both chairs. How strong is Skater Boy?
Strength of 4. So, like, peak. I think that's peak human before it starts getting weird. I can
Let
look
me
up
see
the
how much.
strength.
Yeah, let's look up the benchmarks. So strength 4, you can pick up a person without any trouble. You're trying to pick up 2 people. And the chairs and whatnot. So give me a strength roll, and I will roll based on. Let's see. The weight of a person would be 4. 2 people. Yeah, we'll just bump that up by 1. So you roll 4 and a dice. I will roll the 5.
All right, I'll pop my probability control to give it a +2.
Okay. Need to beat a 9. Which was not a great roll for me. So you got a distinct chance. All right, you got a 10. No problem.
With the probability control added, yes.
All right, so that is a marginal success, or a
moderate success.
Moderate success, yeah.
And with my super speed, hopefully I'll be able to make it out.
You don't get as far as you would get just running, or even just carrying one person and running. But you get back to the roll-up door. It's like you haven't quite hopped out yet. But you're back, and you can see there is no additional, blast
Yeah,
doors,
there's not like
things
a
attached.
blast door about to come up
No,
and down.
no.
Like, I expect it to be like more people coming, but like I want these guys like out of the blast zone.
All right. All right, then it is. That's the guy y'all knocked out's turn, so I don't guess he matters. Boogeyman.
There were Earthmother said there were 3 Majestics, right?
That is correct. You have not seen the one she described in blue. She described him as being
I'm
physically
going to-
larger than the other 2 and in blue. I think.
I'm gonna have my hand on my lightsaber excuse me, and run over to check on Influencer.
Futuro's legal department immediately gets on the comms. We've discussed this. Do not call it a lightsaber. But yeah. All right, so you popped that out and you ran over where?
To where Influencer.
Okay, he's slumped against some of the shelves.
Alright. I am going to try and really quickly knock together a rank 6 healing gadget.
Okay.
Basically just a stim pack.
Yeah, well, we're going to put a little painkiller in here with a whole lot of adrenaline.
Yep.
Then we'll just stab it directly into his heart. It'll be fine.
Like a superhero EpiPen.
There is a 20% chance this will make you shit yourself. I am sorry.
And what is the rank on the thing you're trying to build?
It's gonna be rank 6.
Rank 6, all right. You need to beat a 7. And you rolled a 10. I believe you did it. So you cobbled the thing together.
All right.
Then Miss Manhattan does not care that Carlene is stunned. So she got an 8. Carlene is stunned, but still gets to make her reactions. So her prowess. Carlene is just not a brawler. So massive failure on Carlene's part. Let's see. Manhattan's strength is a 7. Carlene's is a 5. Alright, she does not go flying. Ooh, but she is knocked out. Alright, next up. You hear the sound of jet boots.
Ooh.
And a fellow in mostly... The upper half of his armor is mostly blue and silver with some black. And the lower half is black and blue with some silver. Can't remember if y'all run into this one before or not. Physically, he's a little bit larger than the others. Not like full Hulkbuster size or anything. Just like he was a bigger dude in armor. You know. Imagine normal sized people in armor, and then this dude was like a professional wrestler they put in armor. You know, that's kind of the size difference.
What number is this person? Because we only have pictures currently for 5, 7, 12, and 9.
This is 12. This is Majestic 12. So
Okay.
if I've shown y'all pictures of 12, that's who this is. Karen identifies him as Chad.
Ah.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It's like, Chad.
So Chad comes flying in. Um. And what he is going to do, having seen how this fight is going, he is going to grab his compatriots. Oh, let's see. Skater Boy is in a different room at the moment. Influencer is unconscious. So I am going to give Boogeyman and Whip-Et a determination point.
Much appreciated.
And this may be me tapping into Mutants and Masterminds the way hero points work. But basically, he's pulling a stunt with his powers. So he brings up his gauntlets, that you would assume he's about to shoot with, but they do something different. You assume magnetic in nature. You feel a slight pull on any metal you're wearing, but apparently whatever he's doing, it's directed. It attracts Majestic 5 and Majestic 9 to him. It's like they snap to his hands and he flies off with them. Up over the shelves, towards the front of the store, you hear a shatter of glass. That effectively brings the combat to an end. Karen and Karen both take off after him. So they are out of the building. Skater Boy, you were in the back with a hostage/prisoners. They're hostages. You're prisoners now, I guess. Or no, hostage. You have been holding them. I guess they were prisoners for everybody. They're now your prisoners instead of the other guy's prisoners. They're still tied up. They're still gagged.
Oh yeah, I guess I'll ungag them. That'd only be fair.
Oh, thank you. I don't know what those guys wanted with us. They were, and you can see where these guys are a little bruised up, though, whether that's from the fight they were in previously or whether they got slapped around once they got here. Who knows? Oh, thank you. I don't know what those guys wanted with us.
Oh, like Professor Prometheus is like trying to figure a way to harness like the divine spark all for himself, and so he was like taking some of your stuff to get like know how he's gonna have to fight you in the future. Don't worry too much about it. Like it'll just happen.
So the one guy that was talking, oh, hey, I don't know what they wanted with. He gets this look on his face, like you've spat off more information than he was expecting. He's like, oh, I don't know what any of that means. Well, the guy behind him's like, when you talk about Prometheus wants, the spark. That sorry son of a. And you realize the first guy was going to fake like he had no idea what you're talking about, like he was some innocent person snatched up. But his buddy kind of spoiled it. He's like, as his buddy kind of goes into a rant about, the divine spark being for everybody, and basically some of the he slips into some of the cult-like ideology, and you realize the one that has initially been talking to you was probably the commander. He seems to be the little more intelligent one.
Mm-hmm.
How did you find it so quickly? I mean, I'm grateful you did. How did you find it so quickly?
The remnants of your team, when I talked about how like you had gotten kidnapped by them and how Professor Prometheus is more of a meal for me and the scraps for thee kind of guy, they were like, okay, you should like get our friends out of there. But the way it looks, he's probably already stolen your armor, so you're gonna have to like really redo a lot of your internal stuff for him to not have an advantage against you later.
If I get a chance to, I'll pass it along.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I am a superhero and you like jump someone in the streets. You are like gonna get arrested.
The commander is just sighs, kind of nods his head, like, okay, yeah. I know what happens when we get caught. Fair enough. Well, the guy in the back is trying to convince you otherwise. Don't you understand? We're doing this for everyone. It's not like the billionaires that want to get into space so they can leave the rest of us behind.
Well, like, to be fair, like, if you go into space to leave us behind, you are, like, kind of going out into a universe where, like, the wars take multiple planets to deal with. So, like, they're not really escaping if you think about it. But anyway, like, yeah, like, I really don't want to, like, deal with gods for the rest of my life. I've had, like, enough of that. Let's just get you guys to, like, police.
All right. So the Karens come back a little bit later. They were not able to catch him. Apparently Carlene roused up enough at some point to reactivate her stealth thing. And Seven's like, and apparently they've expanded that so she was able to cover everybody. I mean, granted, they were all huddled together, so that might have helped. I wonder if that means. Oh, I wonder if that means I'm outdated now. Am I the iPhone 1 while they're running around the iPhone 2s? So she's having a little existential crisis. I'm assuming y'all call in Spear. They show up. They start going all over this place. They're going through the crates. What kind of equipment were they getting ready to set up here? They're questioning the commander of the Sword Saints. And he's not answering a whole lot of questions. They were questioning him and the other guy on about the Pantheon as an organization, about our goals, about how our leader does things. He's like, we didn't give him anything other than just basic information. Are there any questions you would like to ask him before Spear carts him off?
Oh, I do have, like, a quick question I want to ask that you guys probably, like, probably don't want to or aren't going to answer, but I should, like, still ask it just the same. Is, like, the dude in the scythe your leader?
The headsman?
No, like, the guy in the scythe, not the guy that holds the scythe, like, the second guy.
The headsman is, I suppose you could say the right-hand man of our leader. And he's using the leader's name. I'm blanking on what the head guy is actually called. Amon Sphinx, I think, is the dude's real name. But that's not. Not the title he uses. But this guy would be using that title. But no, the headsman's like his right-hand man.
Okay, so, like,
He wouldn't describe him as Darth Vader to the Emperor, but that's kind of the impression you're getting. The headsman's kind of the Darth Vader.
When you hold the scythe and talk to the other guy, that's the second in command.
He's never held the scythe. He does not seem to know what you're talking about here. It's like he's only seen you get the impression he's only seen the headsman as the headsman.
Okay, that, like, explains a lot. So when you hold the scythe, there's, like, another guy that talks to you and wants you to, like, do headsman stuff.
Oh, he was not aware of that.
Yeah, it's, like, wild.
It is, though the headsman was, well, he's a powerful individual of some sort, so it's not too shocking that he's even more otherworldly than I had previously imagined. There sounds like there's a little bit of hero worship in here when he talks about the leader for sure, but also the headsman to some degree. Haru Sphex, thank you, Curtis.
All right, I was just like curious, just because like hidden actors in like organizations that are sometimes viewed as cults is like always worrisome.
Oh, no, we're not a cult. He goes into explaining all the ways they're not a cult that makes them sound like a cult. Kind of like people in pyramid schemes, tied up in pyramid schemes, trying to explain how it's not a pyramid scheme. The commander's a little smarter, but he is a true believer. He has drank the Kool-Aid.
Well, like, technically it's not a cult, because, like, what you're doing is very much with, like, things that have physical evidence rather than, like, a religious movement directly. So, like, you are an organization, but outside people will call you, like, a cult. And that's just, like, what's gonna happen. Because they're about gods and stuff and divine sparks.
Oh, yeah,
like,
they're used to the unenlightened mistaking them as a cult. Yeah.
Using
right.
the term unenlightened, also another flag.
That's another red flag, my friend. And he's really talking to Skater Boy like Skater Boy. He's talking to you, or the rest of you notice he's talking to Skater Boy. Like it's like he's sitting there going, I think this guy could be convinced. I think this guy's a little more open-minded.
Well, like the last movement I was in that like involved a god, they kind of like all got murdered. So like maybe we don't get me too involved in this, but like I'll hear you out someday. Talk to you later.
Do you have a moment to talk about our Lord Horospex?
He doesn't want to lord over you as a god. He wants you to all be gods together with him. Which, isn't a bad pitch, really.
No, it's not.
You ignore the whole snatching people off the street and tying them down somewhere to study them. So Spear cleans up this place. From the equipment in the loading bay there, it looks like some fabrication equipment. Spear's tech guy, with just a quick glance, and Boogie could probably back this up if he looked over it. It's fabrication equipment. It's like maybe they were setting up a repair station here.
That makes sense.
It's like he doesn't, the Spear tech guy doesn't think they could reconstruct an entire suit of armor here, but they could probably make pieces and patches and stuff like that. Which Agent Foley, in Agent Foley's opinion, that means they've probably been hiding somewhere outside of the city since y'all's last dust up, and this is probably them creeping back in to the city, getting ready to take action in the city. He's also concerned about how the Pantheon may respond to this attack. I mean, part of him could care less if two secret organizations wanted to beat the tar out of each other. But it's the collateral damage that can come from something like that.
We're far enough away, like the other Sword Saint guys aren't going to hear us talk, right?
Yeah. Y'all finished a little bit of questioning you were going to do here, and they've carted them off. They're headed to jail.
Yeah, we want to like paint this as best we can, because like Prometheus is definitely like hedging his bets, but end result, he's probably trying to get like a communication, because like they have a similar enough goal that Prometheus could probably sweet talk his way into working together for a limited time, and that would be a problem.
That could be a big problem.
But now that we don't have him having interpersonal, like a talk, person to person, and just like stolen tech, it can be framed a lot easier to make them fight each other. So this is not the best result we could have gotten, but like it's way better than the worst.
Yeah, when I speak to the media, I'll play up the ideal of Prometheus wanting to steal their methods or whatever.
Yeah, because like they took the suits straight up. That tech is not in that building. But like,
That's
he
true,
left
we
the
did not
people
find there.
tied up as a trap for heroes. So it's like, saw your men as expendable, but the technology was good, kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, fully likes that.
I have kind of a weird question. I
Mhm.
guess maybe it's not weird. So, Headsman works for Horspec.
Mhm.
Horspec, and that is the Pantheon organization.
Yeah, those are the two guys at the top of the Pantheon.
Right, right.
As far as y'all know. Mhm.
Do we have a name for his organization?
He seems to just be
Or
a
is
lone
there?
it seems to just be him and the Majestics working for him. And occasional hired help, those superpowered mercenaries he was using. Maybe he
He was
empowered
making-
them, but it seemed like he was just hiring them.
Well, he was also making medicine for them.
Yeah, that's true because their processes were incomplete. And the Atomatrix worked for him, and the
family.
yeah,
The
I'm
Fatal
blanking
Four.
on their name.
Yeah, I think it was the Fatal Four, wasn't it?
I know they had FF on their
Yeah,
uniforms.
I think it was the Foul Four.
Foul Four.
Foul
okay.
Four.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But again, they are known to be just villains for hire, so he doesn't seem to have an entrenched organization.
Was not sure. I thought maybe he did, and we just hadn't uncovered that yet.
Well, and nothing Majestic 7 has told you would indicate that he's got some large organization like that.
Okay.
He's more the lone mastermind that hires people as he needs them.
Though we do know he had a giant robot built.
He has a giant robot somewhere.
Yeah.
Other heroes have encountered it. And you have found some of the spare parts. Or some of the flawed.
And like a transport platform.
Yep.
So he's obviously got resources, even if he's a little more independent.
Oh, yeah. And the press eventually shows up here, so, they're quizzing you on the, they're wanting all the deets. I assume y'all stick to the kind of tone like Skaterboy was talking to Agent Foley about. But after that, you're able to withdraw back to your base. Offerman's super happy with your performance. He did send somebody down before Earthmother had left to once again offer her their protection if she needs it. Because I gave her, I think y'all had already given us the contact information, but he gives her some more, offered some more contact information and basically permission to just show up at the base in an emergency, if she needs help. He's like, Whippet had already been kind of doing some outreach with local heroes. He goes, I figure, it won't hurt for us to all try to get in a little better with the local talent.
Right.
Yeah, that's definitely a priority for Whippet.
All right, so we will wrap here for the day. I hope y'all had fun. I enjoyed it. I think this was session 21, so we probably only have another 4 or 5 episodes before this season wraps up. Hope anybody that comes by, hope you enjoyed it. Hope you'll join us again next time. Should be doing this again in 2 weeks. Again, I was your GM for the day, Jason, and with me today has been Taylor as Skaterboy.
See you.
Mike as Whippet.
Take care.
Curtis as the Influencer.
Laters.
And Marigold as the Boogeyman.
Fare thee well.
And we will see y'all next time.